Greetings, my fellow ghouls, goblins, and ghosts. I hope you're all having the spookiest of days, dripping with plenty of gore and scares. And just in case you don't know me, well, my name is Purgatory, the Queen of Samhain, and I want to welcome you all to my Catacombs of Creepiness. Here in my Catacombs of Creepiness, we discuss all things horror, big or small. So if you're just as big of a horror nerd as I am, be sure to smash that like button and hit subscribe. Also be sure to follow me on all platforms, that's TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram at Purgatory Horror. Alright, well, let's get into today's spooky subject, shall we? Bear with me, guys. I am about to all-time geek the hell out because I am about to talk about one of my favorite infection horror films from the 1970s, or just in general, of all time. I'm so excited. One that isn't too well known within the horror community, but some people know about it. I'm not sure how many people know about it, but if you don't know about it, you're about to find out about it. Because I'm about to discuss all things I Drink Your Blood, 1970. This is such a gorific, yes, I said gorific, little horror gem that I happened to find on Tubi, and I am so glad I did. Well, let's get into the discussion, shall we? I Drink Your Blood, 1970. Great title, right? I will first get into the little synopsis, and then I'll talk a little bit about why I love it so much. I Drink Your Blood is a grindhouse horror release that was originally released with another film titled I Eat Your Skin. Yeah, they both were, double features, I believe, at a drive-in. How cool is that? I Drink Your Blood is considered to be an exploitation horror film, and it was both written and directed by David E. Durston. The film is about a group of satanic hippies, yes, I said that, satanic hippies, who assault and attack a teenage girl named Sylvia when they catch her spying on a ritual they were performing in the woods by her home. These people kind of live in a small ghost town, so the only people who really inhabited the town are a small family, which the teenage girl was part of, a woman who owns a small bakery, and a team of dam workers. I'm guessing the entire town was told to leave because all of the houses were supposed to come down soon, and they were working on building or fixing the dam. I'm not sure, they weren't too clear on that. Anyway, the woman Mildred, played by Elizabeth Marner Brooks, and Sylvia's younger brother were loading the trunk of her car with baked goods to take down to the dam workers. When they see Sylvia limping toward the house, badly beaten and brutalized, they take her up to the house where she is treated for her wounds and cared for by a doctor from the dam site. Meanwhile, the satanic hippie group's van abruptly stops working, so they wandered out of the woods and into this small town where they walk into the bakery and ask Mildred where they could stay for a few days. What Mildred didn't know is that this was the very group who assaulted Sylvia because they lied, saying they were a rock music group. She told them to just stay in one of the abandoned houses, and that's what they did. She just charged them $10 and they stayed in one of the abandoned houses. When Sylvia comes out of shock and wakes up from a horrific nightmare, waking up her grandfather in the middle of the night, she finally tells her grandfather who it was that assaulted her, and the grandfather takes his shotgun over to the abandoned house to have a few words with this group. Probably know what that means, right? Well, the satanic group unfortunately beats the grandfather up and drugs him with LSD. The group is forced to let him go when Sylvia's little brother comes to the house demanding that they send his grandfather out immediately. Fast forward to when the little boy gets his grandfather back home. He grabs the shotgun and ventures out into the woods where he comes across a rabid dog. Now, I don't exactly know what he was going to do with the shotgun, whether he was planning to go to the house and, try to kill them himself or what, but he comes across this rabid dog and he shoots the dog dead, and this is where he gets a bright idea on how to get the group back for assaulting his family. His grandfather was a veterinarian, so he runs back to the house and grabs one of his hypodermic syringes and a pair of rubber gloves. He goes back to where the rabid dog was and uses the hypo to take some of the infected blood from the dog, where he will later inject into meat pies at Mildred's bakery. He knew that the satanic hippie group would come in looking for food the next day, so naturally to him this was a good idea. But it turns out to be a bad mistake. He ends up feeding the pies to the satanic group, infecting them all with the rabies virus. We all know what the rabies virus does, but for some of you who may not know exactly, here's what it does. Rabies is a deadly virus spread to people from the saliva of infected animals, or in this case, blood. Rabies is usually spread through an animal bite. Animals most likely to spread rabies include dogs, bats, coyotes, foxes, skunks, and raccoons. And if you know anything about rabies, it is nothing to mess with. It's basically also known as hydrophobia, where you have a fear of water, you can't swallow. It's such an agonizing, painful, death. I wouldn't wish rabies on anyone. The group becomes completely insane, trying to kill everything and everyone in their path. Lots of splatter, lots of bloodshed along the way. Not only that, but there is a bigger problem than just the satanic group being infected with rabies, might I add. The dam workers all have sex with one of the cult members. Yes, they all pile on top of this one woman and take turns having sex with her. And this infects them with the rabies virus. And we're talking 50, 60, dam workers, probably more. That's terrifying. It infects them all. And so inadvertently, the kid actually infects the entire town with rabies. I know he, had good intentions, but he clearly created a massive, massive problem here. At this point, we basically have an outbreak. It isn't until a ton of police and I'm guessing CDC show up at the end and they stop the madness, shooting all of the victims of rabies dead. Which, that's all you could really do for them. You would have to shoot them. Sounds like a pretty crazy movie, right? Now, I explained to you what the film was about. Now, here are my final thoughts and why it's one of my favorites. When I first saw this film, I had no idea I would love it as much as I did. I think after I saw this, I watched it at least 3 times in 1 week, and it's become one of my favorite horror films of all time. But why do I like it so much? Well, for starters, I love how it kind of doubles into 2 films. It doubles into your average satanic panic film that you might find in the 70s, and it doubles as an infection outbreak film. You have the best of both worlds, and in a weird way, it works. I love the gore, and I love how brutal it gets. If you know me, you know I love my splatter films, guys. I've only seen 2 other films with the rabies virus being the focal point, like David Cronenberg's Rabid, which I did a review on that, I think last year, and the remake of Wreck, Quarantine, but this film isn't super rabies or anything like that. This film, it's just plain ordinary rabies, so it's, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, the first horror film to ever feature ordinary rabies as its main focal point. And it's so cool and terrifying to see that all at the same time. Rabies is actually one of my worst fears, so yeah, this one was pretty freaky to me. Of course, I have to give this one 5 out of 5 skulls. The performances, the gore, the subtle humor, the story, it's all just a lot of fun. Yes, it may be corny to some, but honestly, corny isn't always a bad thing. It's fun. Corny can be fun. At least to me, anyway. Well, that just about does it for today's video, creeps. Be sure to give me a like and subscribe. Hit the little bell notification so you never miss when I post a new video. Again, be sure to follow me on all platforms. That's Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Purgatory Horror. I'm not on Facebook, guys, so you won't find me there. If you're looking for more ways to support my channel and content, I do have a Patreon, so feel free to check that out if you're interested. Check out all the tiers, with my lowest tier being only $3 a month. It's a great alternative way to support my work and content, so feel free to check it out and check out what I have to offer. And to my current patrons, I just want to say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. All of your support does not go underappreciated or unnoticed. I love you all. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you. So long and pleasant screams.